Safety first, so always disconnect electrical power before servicing any electrical appliance. This video will show you how to replace the coupler on washing machines for Kenmore Whirlpool style. A few basic tools you will need, you just saw, a socket set, a hammer, and some screwdrivers. Here's the part number 2857853A that we'll be replacing. And before we replace that, of course, we need to show you the symptoms of what a bad coupler is. When the coupler breaks, the motor is no longer able to drive the transmission to either agitate or to spin. So if you're hearing that noise, that's just the shaft of the motor spinning inside the broken coupler. Okay, so to do the repair, the first thing you have to do is open up the console. And you see there on the screen, I have a video listed below where you can click on it to see more detailed how to remove and replace the consoles and the cabinets off the frame. So some of you will need to go look at that to make it easier to do. And if you do, that's fine. Just click on that video and there it'll be. Once you get the screws off the console, you'll then be able to pull the console towards you a little bit and then flip it up to expose the rest of the top deck of the machine. It's hinged, so just lift it straight back up and over and it'll hang there. Next you want to do is remove these brass clips that hold the back panel onto the body of the cabinet. Just stick the flat blade screwdriver down in that slot and then bend it towards the back of the machine and it'll just pop right out. Once you've gotten those off, go ahead and unclip the wire harness that goes to the lid switch. And now that should have everything free from the cabinet so it can be removed. Once you've done all that, just grab a hold of it and tilt it towards you and then pull away from the machine base. Go ahead and take that cabinet and set it out of the way. And go ahead and flip that console back down so it doesn't get in the way and so it doesn't get broken or flip back down on you or anything like that without you expecting it. I'd go ahead and disconnect all the water hoses, and that includes the drain hose as well, and tie them up out of the way. Did not do that on this repair this time, and if you have the room to do it, tilt the machine towards the back wall there enough to where, and pull it far enough out so that you can tilt it and lean it. But again, if you remove the hoses, you'll keep from damaging them. You don't want to damage your water hoses, so I do recommend go ahead and removing the hoses from the wall as well as the drain hose, so you're not going to damage those. Here I'm going ahead and starting the repair. I'm just using my flat blade screwdriver to pry these clips up and down off of the water pump. These long slender clips are mounted into the front face of the motor and then clip the water pump in place. So just get those off, set them aside. Water pump then will lift straight up off the shaft of the motor. Didn't remove the hoses. If you do, you have water coming out and you don't really need to. You can work around it. Next, I'm removing the clip or the wire harness from the motor. And when you're doing this, you want to make sure that you're being careful not to cut yourself on any of the sharp edges that are in here on the inside of the machine. And also grab the clip itself, not the wires, because you can damage it if you pull on the wires. Now the clips that hold the motor onto the transmission are the same kind that were used on the water pump, but they're a little bit longer and they usually have screws in them. And I just pointed out these didn't have the screws, but you'll just need to remove those screws that hold it on there, and then again use a flat blade screwdriver to pry that clip down. Just stick it in the end there and then twist it, it'll pry it down. You can leave the clip on the bottom hanging there like I did on this one, or you can go ahead and remove it and reinstall it later, it doesn't matter. The motor's very heavy, so when you go to take the motor off, be very ready to handle that weight. Now that clip up on top is still there, it'll be in the way, so I'll go ahead and get rid of it here in a minute. This is the middle of the coupler, the rubber piece. This one was all rounded out on one side. And there's the old plastic coupler The part that's mounted on the motor, I'm going to go ahead and remove it. It just came right up and off. Sometimes those pegs will be broken, or the whole thing will be broken into more than one piece. And now I'm going to remove it from the shaft of the transmission. Same thing, just pry it up and off. And this one came off real easy because it's rounded out, and that's where it was making the noise. And that was one of the things that will cause you to, obviously it can't drive the transmission if it's rounded out. Now I'm opening the new parts, and you'll see the new one has a metal insert in the center of it to keep them from rounding out. So they've gotten wise to this problem and kind of made a correction to the part for it. To put it on the shaft, just set it in place, and since it has that new insert, that metal insert, it's going to be kind of hard to push down on the shaft. So I use a 1/2 inch deep socket with an extension, and then lightly tap it in place using a hammer. You want to get it all the way down flush, so that the shaft sticking up through there is flush with the edge of the coupler. And do the same thing on the transmission. Maybe a little challenging to get to it to where you can use the hammer, but again, be very careful not to cut yourself on these rails. As you can see, I'm struggling a little bit to find the best angle to do this. Once the couplers are installed, go ahead and grab that rubber grommet piece and place it onto the part on the transmission shaft there. And then align it or turn it a little bit so that the empty hole is at the 12 o'clock position. And that way you can align the peg that's on the motor to the 12 o'clock position as well, so you can line them up when you're putting the motor back on. So it's kind of tricky. Remove that top strap so it's out of the way and leave the bottom one there. You'll need to leave it there so you can put it on easily. Okay, so just align the mounting pegs of the motor onto the front face of the mount there, and that should also align the coupler as well. That should just shove right on. And once you get it shoved on, then you'll be able to go ahead and install the clips to lock it back in place. Set the motor back in place with everything lined up, and then snap the straps in place, and remember to reinstall the screws if you had screws on yours. Align the water pump. I had to spin it a little bit on the inside of that water pump so it would realign with the shaft. And then once you get it back on, install its straps to hold it onto the face of the motor. Now here I'm going ahead and installing the clip, of course, for the wire harness. Make sure you put all your wire clips that you took apart back on. This one just has the one clip. Some have more than one clips. They have an individual wire or two that need to be removed as well and then replaced. Okay, so like I was saying, go ahead and get everything put back together, set it back in the upright position, and then slide the cabinet back onto the frame. The front edge of the cabinet goes underneath the bottom frame, and then the sides go up on top of the frame. And again, you can refer back to that other video for some detailed pictures of what the slots look like and how it goes on. So once you get the cabinet in place, reattach the lid switch harness so you don't forget it. And then take those brass inserts or straps and lock them into the back of the cabinet, and then press down to clip them into the holes there on the top of the cabinet. So now that that's all done, you can go ahead and carefully flip the console back down into place. There's some little pegs that need to go in the right place, and slide it into place. Reattach the screws. Now for testing, I'm going to go ahead and start it back up here. Okay, starting it. Of course, now you see it actually spins. We'll do it with the screwdriver so you can see it. So now it's working. And that's how you replace the coupler on a Kenmore or Whirlpool washing machine.